after they are done with Diddy, Jay-Z is up next to be exposed, right? Jay-Z, over the course of his career, and I have to still say allegedly, has done things and allegedly participated in a lot of things that the public would not be happy to know.
But I do know this, that it's only 3 people that had contracts with Puff and Bad Boy.
They tried to kill me this same weekend. Not in jokes. With a real gun in my real face on real camera. Understand I'm losing my life for participating in something that goes along with my job. Like, it's 2 comedians. What do you mean?
So who's next?
Y'all don't see the lineup?
Oh, yeah, no.
Yeah, we see the lineup. I'm just waiting to see who's next.
Jay-Z is setting Diddy up. Why is everyone having such a hard time? He ain't doing shit.
Girl, you ain't gonna believe this. The FBI just raided Jay-Z's private jet, and what they found is blowing up the internet. We're talking about some next-level stuff that's got everyone shook. Imagine the craziest thing you could find on a celeb's plane, then multiply that by 1,000. This isn't just some regular celeb drama, it's a whole new level of scandal that's gonna have people talking for months.
Well, I would say this. It's kind of funny to me, man, is that Diddy used to hate Jay-Z. He hated Jay-Z enough when he was trying to get Ja Rule to go at Jay-Z. This is back in the early 2000s. And one day, Asner Kushner, Diddy and myself went to a Nets game and we met Jay-Z. I've never been a Jay-Z fan, like some of his music, the whole 9 yards. But when we went over to the, I think that was Prudential Center in Newark, and him and Puff met up, it was strange to me. Because I remember what Puff was trying to do. And then both of them, they was talking about something amongst each other, amongst all of us, and laughing and joking with each other. Then over the years, I see them giving garden parties. You understand what I'm saying? You could tell that the people in power had gave that reign to Diddy, and Jay was next in line. So to separate him, when in fact, they may be 2 of the same, but because Jay-Z is low-key, that low-key sneaky shit, and Diddy is, and was, rambunctious, just out with it. It don't mean that they not 2 of the same. One just a little quieter with his shit.
What happened at the basketball game? When they ran into, you guys ran into Jay-Z?
They was just talking. They was talking amongst each other about their little white girls. They little skinny white girls.
And I mean, did Diddy always say negative things about Jay around you?
The time he was trying to get Ja Rule to go at Jay, yeah. He was. They worked it out.
Was there a reason behind it?
I couldn't tell you the reason behind it. It was probably because Big had died. I don't know what it was, man. I don't know why he wanted Ja Rule to go at Jay. I guess if he kept them beefing or kept them into some bullshit, he could rise up in between both of them.
Girl, you know the FBI doesn't just show up for nothing, especially when it comes to Jay-Z. So what made them come for the king of hip-hop? Picture this. It's a normal day at the airport. Jay's private jet just chillin' on the tarmac like it ain't no thing. Everything's quiet, just the usual hustle and bustle of planes taking off and landing. But then, out of nowhere, it's like someone kicked over an anthill. FBI agents start swarming the place, moving with that kind of urgency that tells you something big is going down. People are stopping in their tracks, phones out, calls made. You know this is going to be all over social media in about 2 seconds flat. The streets are talking, and they're saying some wild stuff. Eyewitnesses are spilling all kinds of tea about seeing agents climbing into Jay's jet like they own the place. One person swears they saw agents carrying out boxes, while another claims they heard shouting coming from inside the plane. It's like a real-life episode of Law & Order, but with way more bling.
Yeah, but I have been hearing that a lot. I feel like your girl Jaguar Wright might have been one of the first to really put his name out there. I don't know enough. I will say that Jay-Z, if he was doing ill shit like that, he was more quiet about it. You know what I mean? He was more, but then, if we be real with ourselves, it was kind of abnormal when he got with Beyonce. Like, she was pretty young when he got with her. There's rumors that he was messing with Foxy Brown when she was pretty young. You know, so there's a lot of those rumors around. You know what I mean? I don't, yeah. And do you hear little things here and there? I'm not gonna lie. When certain people get to a certain level of fame, I don't know why, but you start to hear little about certain people sometimes. And I don't know how many people are really exempt from it. Because if you really think about most of your top celebrities, black celebrities, rappers, I feel like the ones that are at the top for a long time, I feel like I've heard a rumor damn near about all of them. Not that I've seen anything, but it's always these top motherfuckers. Now, some people will say, oh, well, that's just a hating. It could be. Or it could be that motherfuckers got to join a club in order to get to a certain level. I don't know. I'm not in the club, so I wouldn't know. But it's just a little weird that everybody that goes past a certain point, you'll hear a little. And these be behind the scenes rumors too. This is not just internet shit. This be before the internet existed. You understand? Because it's easy for some shit to fly around now with the internet. But a lot of this shit was pre-internet. And it was getting around. You see? So, makes it a little different. It still could be some bullshit, but I'm just saying. Some of these rumors been around about people for a long time. You've been hearing little things about them. And have I heard little shit about Jay-Z? Yup. Do I think that he's trying to emulate himself and present himself as a gay painter, like to look like Basquiat? Yup, I do. I think 50 Cent was right about that. I think that's a code to, especially to white people, that he's approachable, he's cultured, but Basquiat was also bisexual. So is that a code that you're trying to tell these white people too, by trying to emulate this guy? I don't know, but it doesn't look good.
The internet's going wild with theories. Some folks are saying it's got something to do with his music empire, like maybe there are shady dealings going on behind the scenes. Others think it might be connected to his other business ventures. Jay's got his fingers in all kinds of pies, from sports agencies to streaming services. But here's where it gets real interesting. Word on the street is that this wasn't just some random check. Nah, The FBI came looking for something specific. They had intel, they had a plan, and they knew exactly what they were after. It's like they had a treasure map. And X marked the spot right on Jay's private jet.
Why do people have such an affinity for Basquiat anyway? I think it's trash. Let me just put it out there. I don't think that Basquiat's art is fucking all brilliant the way they claim it is. It looks like bullshit to me. It's some shit that white people would like. It's not some shit that black people look at and be like, oh my God, that is so impressive. He ran with weirdos like Andy Warhol and Keith Haring. They tried to call Keith Haring graffiti back in the days. I hated Keith Haring's art. It was crap. That was not graffiti. That was a white dude from the village who was inspired by graffiti, who started doing some shit. And because he's white, now he can go to galleries and sell this shit for fucking $50,000. And then you got real blacks and yes, Puerto Ricans, you know, and even some poor white people that were doing graffiti uptown on the trains and shit like that, and they couldn't get no money for this shit, you know? And their shit was way more technical and, you know what I mean? And makes you feel something and really aligned itself with hip hop. But all of that shit, Keith Haring, Basquiat, and Andy Warhol with soup cans, get the fuck out of here. That was some shit where they gamed the people into believing that some bullshit was something special. And Jay-Z was one of the first ones, I think, to really talk about Basquiat. And it's like, why? And you make a song about Tom Ford. That's another homosexual designer. What is this all about? Like, I don't know when heterosexuals started bigging up homosexuals, starting trying to dress like them, do their hair like them, and making songs about them. I'm just saying, you know. And Jay-Z, I like Jay-Z. I think he's a dope rapper, dope businessman. He used to be my neighbor. We lived in the same building, 560 State Street. But that being said, I'm just telling you what I know and what I've observed.
He speak to health authorities immediately because there is a president of the United States hunting for this. Now everyone's thinking the FBI found some illegal stuff, right?
Why does it all come to a head now? Why now? Why?
Because he's the acceptable monster at this time, like R. Kelly was the last time I sat on this couch.
So who's next?
Y'all don't see the lineup?
Yeah, we see the lineup. I'm just waiting to see who's next.
Jay-Z is setting Diddy up. Why is everyone having such a hard time? He ain't doing shit different. He lined up D. Haven, stole his life and identity. He lined up Big L, stole his life and identity. He lined up Dame Dash, stole his life, identity, and took his love. Lined up R. Kelly. He wants to be the one.
Yeah, shout out D. Haven. He actually hit us up, wanted to tell this story.
You need to talk to D. Haven.
Yeah, we need to talk to him.
I told you that last year when I put you on the phone with him.
You did.
I want you to think about this. Allegedly, Sean Carter is responsible for enacting Hype Williams to put Aaliyah on a faulty plane to move her out the way as punishment for rejecting him. And so he could level up Beyonce, who was struggling. Let's just say allegedly that happened. Now I want you to think about 106th Park with Mary J. Blige. Free, who is a victim of Sean Carter.
Yeah.
Mary J. Blige, who is a victim of Sean Combs, are sitting there talking about the death of Aaliyah amongst each other. Think about that. You got a Diddy victim, you got a Jay-Z victim, and you got a superstar gone. They know what happened. And yet, they had to sit there and have that conversation like they didn't know who did it. Think of the power of that moment. Think about Claudia Jordan right now. Claudia Jordan don't ever mention my mother name. She mentioned it yesterday. Talking about why people are afraid to come forward. You mean like you? You was Diddy girl. Corey was Jay-Z girl. Why don't you claim your friend?
The truth is way more scandalous than that. Imagine something so shocking it could rewrite music history. What if I told you it involved someone you'd never expect? Girl, when you think of a celeb's private jet, what comes to mind? We're talking top shelf liquor flowing like water, seats so plush you could sink into them for days, and maybe even a solid gold toilet if you're feeling extra fancy. But let me tell you, the FBI wasn't here for any of that bougie nonsense. They had their sights set on something way juicier.
Claudia.
So, Jack, when you say...
When I say Corey, I'm talking about Kathy White.
Oh, yeah. That's what I was about to ask.
Jay-Z's pregnant mistress, who died of an imaginary fucking aneurysm. Just like the woman who was best friends with Kim and Kimura, who wrote the book Bling and died as soon as it made the bestsellers list. Who the fuck was these people supposed to go to? You can't go to the boss because the boss is fucking you. And the boss's boss don't get no fuck. Can't go to the authorities. They're all bought and paid for. You could try to get a special prosecutor, but they'll just pay somebody to reassign him to another case. Where the fuck you go when you get fucked over by the industry? Nowhere. That's where you go nowhere, which is where people like me step in. You right? I go to Diddy parties to walk mother out, cause ain't nobody stopping me when I come.
So let me ask you, because I look at Gabriel Union, and when you mention things like Jay-Z's time is coming for him, then I look at Beyonce. And I say that, women do have
that country album, and any of you that buy that shit, stupid as shit.
You don't give it no
trap
credit?
music with goddamn a holster and a hat.
But she remade Jolene.
That bitch. I'm gonna tell you the song she should have remade. It's a hit. It would have done great for her. She should have tried it on. Tammy Wynette. Classic. Stand by your man. Don't act like you don't know that now. Remake that. Stand by that. That's a real country hit. Jolene, nice. But it has a ring to it. Stand by your man. Yeah. Whoops. And disrespects you with other like Kathy Coriana White.
Some folks are saying they found notebooks filled with lyrics. Not just any lyrics, mind you, but the kind that could change the game. We're talking about verses so fire they could rewrite hip-hop history. But here's the kicker. What if those lyrics aren't all Jay's? What if there's proof that some of the biggest names in the game have been buying their rhymes this whole time? And it doesn't stop there. The streets are whispering about secret contracts, the kind that could expose how the music industry really works. We're talking about deals that would make your head spin, showing who really owns what and who's been pulling the strings behind the scenes.
All right, well, let's do it like
Who was
this.
actually carrying his baby while you was faking it. Why your husband don't want to put his seed inside of you? He put it in everybody else. Wild in this world, yo.
It's funny, you open up Beyonce's internet, it just gets weird.
Beyonce's internet.
Nah, that's what we're calling
That
it.
belongs to the devil. Unless you calling that the devil, she ain't nothing but an employee.
Oh.
Half a witch, dumbass bitch.
So, you know, it's funny that it's crazy you say these
Why
things.
don't nobody want to accept that bitch bitch?
I think she's
She went and killed the girl cats.
Okay.
A girl went to court and charged her with extreme witchcraft. She was hypnotized. She was drugged. Beyonce came and she was in there eating on her and shit while she was asleep. You know, snacking on his bitch, killing people cats. And guess what? They wouldn't give her the restraining order. They just told her to stay away from Beyonce and work for somebody else. Guess what? She's having a hard time finding work too. Which is interesting because she's a brilliant musician. And she was trained at the esteemed Berklee College of Music. Handpicked by my very good friend, Terry Lynn Carrington, Dr. Terry Lynn Carrington, who put together Beyonce's entire female band, which was Matthew Knowles' idea because he couldn't get Beyonce to stop people. Guess you didn't know your daughter well enough because she just started all the girls. Impulse control issues? I don't know. I'm saying, Sean Carter, you're a piece of shit. Taking Pimp C wasn't bad enough. You just want to go down there and you want to just remove all of the balls from every real gangster in Houston.
Now finding out Santa ain't real is one thing, but this is like finding out the whole North Pole's been running a side hustle. The FBI didn't just stumble on Jay's dirty laundry, they opened up a whole Pandora's box of music industry secrets. And let me tell you, some of your faves might not be looking so squeaky clean right now. Girl, when I say this scandal goes deep, I mean it's deeper than the Mariana Trench.
Why the fuck did that house burn up? Who the fuck goes to their childhood house for a visit and the shit goes up in flames?
That was very weird. The next day, within the week?
The next day.
The next day.
And still, no real investigation on how the house just went up in flames.
Man.
I guess they paid y'all off. Like they paid y'all off for that Astro World.
So let me ask you.
Texas politics.
Yeah, Texas politics, man. It's that right there. We're gonna talk about the episode. But for right now, I just got to get your take on when we see a Killer Mike win 3 Grammys.
And get arrested immediately after because Jay-Z paid somebody to him up just so he couldn't have a good night. You, Sean.
Hey, man.
Weirdo.
Oof.
Don't get no what you got in your head, that neural link. You'll never outthink me. Ever. All I do is frustrate your AI. You can't quantify me. You can't even control your wife. You gonna handle a bitch like me. You can't even control that goofy bitch. You should have did a better job. Maybe she wouldn't have had to lose her mind on Kathy. Because you ain't protecting you. You're protecting her. Wonder why?
The tea is so piping hot, it's like somebody spilled it all over the industry. Everybody's running around trying to do damage control, but this ain't the kind of stain that comes out easy. We're talking about dirt that's been buried deeper than Jimmy Hoffa. And now, it's all coming to light. You want to know the real kicker? Word on the street is that some of these connections go way back, like old school, back in the day type stuff. Secrets that have been kept under wraps, tighter than Beyoncé's pregnancy announcements, are now spilling out.
So earlier today, we reported to you that Piers Morgan decided to take down parts of his interview with Jaguar Wright, where she talked about and referred to Beyonce and Jay-Z as monsters and alleged that these two have held people against their own will. In a statement from Beyonce's attorneys, they said that these statements from Jaguar Wright were completely untrue and false, and asked that Piers Morgan take those clips down and to apologize, which Piers Morgan actually did. Well, now, and this is becoming a trend from celebrities, their attorney is speaking out on TMZ Live and addressing why Beyonce and Jay-Z decided to speak out. And he says that what Piers did and what Jaguar said actually hurts the real victims.
This must have been shocking to you that somebody comes on a show and then kind of levels these vague-ish allegations. Were you kind of ready for something like this to eventually happen?
Listen, there's rumors and then there's nonsense, and this is one step further, right? This is a pointed and formal accusation of something, and I felt it needed to be responded to. So I think somebody reported it was a cease and desist. It wasn't that. It was quite bluntly an ultimatum, which is remove that false accusation that's demonstrably false, or a court's going to order you to. And so I think he made the wise choice. And
so basically he's saying that they were willing to actually sue Piers Morgan over these statements. But Piers, in the moment when he was interviewing Jaguar Wright, already was backpedaling, saying that, we can't confirm or deny some of what she was saying, but has since went on his platform to denounce it. It's just not worth it for him. In the separate video that we did covering this story, we told you Piers Morgan is not just Piers Morgan on YouTube. It's not like Kempire here on YouTube. He has a monster house behind him, including Rupert Murdoch, who owns 50% of his YouTube channel. That is billions of dollars behind Piers Morgan. And one of the other things that I noted was the fact that Piers Morgan's contract with Rupert Murdoch's company, News UK, is up for negotiations now. So that could be a part of the motivation behind Piers Morgan. It's not worth it for him. However, take a listen to what the attorney says in regards to why this is so dangerous.
Forget everything you thought you knew about the music biz, because after this reveal, it's all going out the window. The FBI's find on that plane, it's like they cracked open Pandora's box. But instead of hope at the bottom, there's a whole lot of dirty laundry, and girl, it stinks to high heaven. This archive isn't just about Jay. It's like a who's who of the music world, with dirt on everyone from up-and-coming artists to industry legends. Now, you might be thinking, so what? We all know the music industry can be shady, but girl, this is next-level stuff. Imagine finding out that your favorite rapper's biggest hit was actually written by their supposed rival, or that a chart-topping pop star has been buying their way to the top for years.
And acted accordingly.
He meaning Piers Morgan.
Removing it and apologizing for it, yes. What changed here in my mind is that somebody on a so-called journalistic platform exploited that kind of random rumor mill, whether it's disconnected from reality or what have you, and lifted it up. And by doing that, they not only caused harm here, but they are also droning out the voices of real victims. And by doing that to get clicks, it didn't just harm the Carters. What he did effectively was to drone out the voices of actual victims in an ongoing case, in an ongoing investigation. And that was too much for me.
Are you in the
Pause. This is the first time that we are having an actual celebrity, a celebrity that's close to the Diddy situation, actually address the situation. Besides Ray J. Besides Ray J, this is the first time the Carters have actually, in a way, through their representative, their attorney, is actually addressing the Diddy situation.
Process of making sure that it is taken down everywhere.
What I am here to say is that in a situation as serious as this, somebody who puts themselves out as a journalist should not effectively take advantage of the situation and exploit somebody in this way. And so that's the real reason for action.
Does it?
His words are very important because I do feel like on some level, I think he's talking about the exploitation of victims, but I also think there is an exploitation of Jaguar Wright because I do believe, yes, I do believe there is some truth to some of what she says. However, I do believe she does add a lot of sauce. And I've said this countless times that I believe that there is truth to what Jaguar has reported in regards to some of these folks. Yes, she's been in circles, but because she's been in those circles, maybe not for the last few years, she still has connections to those circles. But I also believe money has motivated her to add a little sauce, to give people those conspiracy theories that they're like, oh, that's juicy, because they much rather believe the juicy story than the actual fact. I don't know what the actual fact is, but what I can sense is that there is a level of exploitation of this woman and the state that she might be in and the stories that she's telling, in my humble opinion.
Does it strike you a little bit that there's been a lot of silence in Hollywood in the wake of all of this?
Well, as to the Carters, I can tell you that when they put their foot down on something as they did here, they are sending a message. And if they can't stand up and make sure right from wrong, then who can? I've always believed that the truth will come out in courtrooms, and I'm sure the truth will come out.
This is the first time. This is the first time that we've actually seen someone that was closely associated or friendly with Sean Diddy Combs in any way speak out. And a lot of people have associated and assumed and are predicting that Jay-Z is next. He's the next one in Hollywood to be exposed. And a lot of people have used the excuse, well, no one has ever sued Jaguar Wright. We've refuted those claims multiple times because keep in mind, guys, if you have nothing to lose, suing Jaguar is not going to stop Jaguar from still speaking. That's the thing. You could sue her and you could even get a judgment. But will that stop her from speaking about you and making these claims? No, we've seen this happen in recent times. That has not stopped someone from speaking. And if you don't have anything to lose, it's even more motivation for you to keep speaking. This is major news in regards to Jay-Z and Beyonce speaking because they never do. And the fact that their attorney is speaking on TMZ Live, yes, no matter how you feel about TMZ or whatever it may be, he has to get permission from them to go out and speak to the media on this. He has to receive permission from them to reach out to Piers Morgan and tell him, take that down or else. Or else what? We have to remember a lot of these millionaires and billionaires run in the same circles. I wouldn't be surprised on some level there is a cross-pollination of Jay-Z and Beyonce businesses or future business that Rupert Murdoch is involved in. So it wouldn't shock me because of those relations that Piers Morgan was like, my hands are off. You want me to apologize? I will apologize. My contract is up. Millions of dollars are on the table. I'm not going to risk it over Jaguar Wright. But Pierce knew what he was doing, why he had her on there. There were other channels that have been highlighting Jaguar for years, making tons of money off of her. He wanted in on that. But he got a little bit of it, made his money, and now he's backpedaling. It shouldn't be a surprise if you know Piers Morgan's history. But we also understand as a platform, he had to, as a real journalist, he is a real journalist, he had to be like, well, we can't just say things on platforms without really being able to stand behind those things with actual information. Guys, I did not expect to talk about this Piers Morgan, Beyonce, Jaguar Wright stuff again, But here we are. Beyonce and Jay-Z's attorney is speaking out to TMZ, saying that they never sent a cease and desist. They sent an ultimatum. And that this interview and the accusations that Jaguar Wright made against the Carters actually is dangerous and doesn't help the real victims.
The archive has receipts on everything, from rigged music awards to manufactured beefs between artists. It's exposing how the whole game is rigged, from radio plays to streaming numbers. This scandal isn't just about Jay-Z. It's about the entire music industry. The connections in this archive even reach into politics, sports, and more. Jay-Z is smack in the middle of a web of influence that spans the globe. Girl, can you even wrap your head around all this? Jay-Z's plane drama is just scratching the surface of what's really going down. This isn't your regular celeb gossip. It's the kind of tea that's going to change the game forever. The streets will be talking about this for months. Everyone from your favorite rappers to big shot execs is probably sweating bullets right now, wondering what's going to come out next. And trust me, there's plenty more where that came from.